So I wanted to do some kind of a reaction to this podcast that Harry gave, and I was so uncomfortable to watch at the same time. I don't know if you watched this in full, but here goes my review of whatever Harry was doing in here. And this is the Joe Marler podcast. Joe Marler Will See You Now. I don't know where this came from, but I guess that Harry is in that media tour that Meghan forces him to do every now and then for the brand or whatever he has. And one thing that I'm going to say right out of the gate is that I have said in many other videos that Harry somehow, I don't know, has this such an effeminate attitude in many ways that I find it unsettling. But this time, in over 45 minutes, that is basically the jokes that he made more than 10 times. We're gonna take a look at some of them. If you watch this in full, I salute you. I watched this in full, and I don't know what were people like. What is the appeal of this? But again, first clip.
Quite an aggressive start from you, Duke.
So, well, it's not an aggressive start. God, your hands are huge.
No.
Okay, first, Harry begins to talk about the guy's hands that are huge. You see in the body language. Let's talk a bit about body language. You're watching right now the Royal Road, but you know that is our origins or the body language guy. And my God, see that Harry has this I don't want to be here. It's a double barrier. He has a barrier over his chest and has a barrier over his crotch as well. He feels threatened, but at the same time he tries to connect with the guy who is leaning forward and say that your hands are so huge, are so big. And what kind of innuendo is that?
God, your hands are huge.
Now your tune's changed.
And Harry goes as far as to go and grab the guy's hands. I'm gonna say it. I don't know how are you going to take it. I'm pretty sure that some of you are going to criticize me for what I'm about to say, but I have never held a man's hands like this. I don't know. There's no scenario that I can imagine. Like, look at my nails or something like that. This was so strange to see. No, there's no scenario that I can think of that this doesn't look weird, strange. I'm gonna say weird, not the word that I have in my mind right now.
Look at those.
Big old mitts
Like
on me.
individual, like Cumberland sausages.
Oh, he said sausages. That was a good one. Harry saying sausages. We have gone full circle already. Okay, it's a sign of my admiration for you. I think that was the beard.
It's a sign of my...
No, it was the guy was wearing a ring that had a little H on it. I really missed the part. I didn't care either. Why was he wearing a ring that had an H on it?
My admiration for you that I wear on my little finger.
Okay, it's not a little finger, but I see.
And Harry makes a joke about not being a little finger. Again, talking about the big hands and big fingers of the guy. My question is, this is a legitimate question for you, my dear Rogies. Do you think this was scripted? Or do you think this was ad-libbed? I don't think Harry has the capacity to ad-lib this kind of stuff. They would have to record for 7 hours to have, I don't know, decent takes about anything. So it means that if this was scripted, they were making fun of him, making him do, I don't know, hand jokes. We have two options. Either Harry was accepting to say these hand jokes, or he was saying those on purpose. I don't know what is worse, but okay, let's continue.
Not a little finger, but I see.
Occupation.
Full-time dad, British Army veteran.
Okay, I don't think that British Army veteran is an occupation. That is not an occupation, Harry. Full-time dad. I don't think you can list that as an occupation. Some dads might do that, but yeah, that's not something that works, because you know that a dad has to be conquering the world, earning, putting food on the table. You could be full-time dad. Are you 24/7 with your kids? Full-time dad? No, I don't think you do, Harry. But I think you say that with that face, absolutely lost face, because that's what you think is going to land well with your audience. That's part of the brand, perhaps. Let's say that you're a full-time dad. Let's see what else does he say. But he had doubts about that question. Notice the hesitation.
Occupation.
Yeah, I have to think about that. What is my occupation? What do I do, Megan? In the I package all the jam in the basement. Well, I'm in the basement all day long, all week long.
Full-time dad, British Army veteran, Prince of England.
Prince of England, that is his occupation as well, and Duke.
But for today, I don't know. What do you want, Duke?
Okay, yeah, that was pathetic. It was the moment to shine, Harry. You could have said all the things that you're doing. I guess that you're not a better up anymore. I mean, that hasn't been brought like in a decade or something. I guess that Harry is not doing much these days, which is pathetic. Because again, you should be building stuff, conquering stuff, discovering stuff. I don't know. Everything is Invictus all the time, and you can even be at the train. The train that Invictus train. You couldn't even be at the Invictus train because you know that. Oh my God, you and Invictus are parting ways at some point. It's only so much that you can milk veterans for your brand. Their reckoning is coming.
Decent.
Right, you've seen them play rugby.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. Makes the sport worth watching, doesn't it?
And good-looking guys as
Yeah,
well.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, this was like a kind of a joke. Who is the most famous people you have in your contacts? And he says, I don't know who are the two guys that he mentioned. I guess that is some kind of a rugby joke. But again, the way that Harry is delivering the joke, that must have been scripted, of course. Obviously, it was scripted. But the way that he was kind of terrified looking at the co-host is like, this is not Harry. It has never been Harry's medium. This is not him. Well, what is Harry? What is not even himself can say what he's doing right now. What is his occupation? Because he has no occupation. This is nothing.
Makes the sport worth watching, doesn't it?
And good-looking guys as
Yeah,
well.
very, very good.
See that he is trying to register if he's saying, the lines in a proper way. I guess that he had this huge blackboard or whiteboard with the words that he had to say. And am I saying those the right way? Is Megan gonna be proud of me? Something like this.
Yeah.
People get that wrong.
Yeah. People think I'm ginger, but
This thing about Harry bother people not understanding if he's actually ginger, but he's auburn or something like that. I'm gonna say it. Saying that I am not ginger. I am in fact auburn. That is the gayest thing I've ever heard in some time. I mean that is some gay stuff. Again, if this was scripted, they were absolutely 100% mocking him. I am not ginger. I'm auburn.
sunset, like Auburn.
Yeah, no, this is not even funny. At least if this was self-deprecating funny, that would be. But it's only self-deprecating without the funny, which is really pathetic. You see that he's trying to land those lines, and no, Harry has, at least in this regard, I have to give it to Harry that I have seen him have some humor sometimes, not crude humor, not nipple pinching humor, no, or nipple biting humor, no, not that kind of humor. I have seen Harry. I remember. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect I'm having, but that scripted humor, that timing, no, that doesn't go well. People keep trying to do that. That is not going to work. That is not going to work because you need smarts for that. Then Harry doesn't have those smarts. Like, if Harry has humor at any point, it's totally spontaneous, and yeah, it's totally unscripted, and it's once in a blue moon or something like that. But the I am not Ginger, people mistake me for Ginger. I'm more like, what?
Yeah. People think I'm Ginger, but I'm more sort of like Sunset, like.
It's the way that he says it. It's as gay as it gets. I have to say it. Okay, this is as gay as you can. It's not effeminate.
Yeah. People think I'm Ginger, but I'm more sort of like Sunset, like Auburn.
I don't know if his reactions, that's a problem when you realize that this is scripted. You don't know if the guy's reactions are also fake or genuine. That completely breaks any kind of effect that you want something to be spontaneous. You either have something spontaneous. For something scripted to look spontaneous, you need comedic genius. You need people who actually know comedic timing to make it, actually natural. This is not working here. So again, it's completely breaks any sort of humor effect that they wanted to achieve.
But and Harry Styles, great, run around on stage in a pair of tight shorts.
What?
I mean, another effeminate. I don't know how to say this. It's like, which Harry do you relate it the most? Harry Kane, Harry Styles, Harry Potter, and he began to say, okay, maybe Harry Kane, of course, in a winning day, which I think it was mean. I think if you're gonna identify with Harry Kane, you should say that in any day, not only in winning days. I think that is stupid. And then he says, and look at his body language. Harry Styles.
But and Harry Styles, great, run around on stage in a pair of tight shorts.
What?
You be the judge. You think I'm mean? You think I'm mean? No, I'm being totally fair with Harry here. I'm totally being fair with the world. I'm saying the things as I see them. This is, oh my God, this is so pathetic. But he's doing that for clicks. I don't know how many views does this have. Maybe we can find out.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not very nice.
No, it was said in a jokey way, and it hasn't haunted me for the entire time of my life.
I grew a beard because I admire yours so much.
Again, the blinking, I grew a beard because I admire yours so much. Again, this is obviously scripted, but the way that Harry delivers it is so wooden and weird and everything.
I admire yours so much. So, we're good.
Yeah, and the reaction, of course, is absolutely artificial. And people tell me, this guy is funny. Okay, I believe you. Maybe this guy is funny, but this time was a very low moment of his career. Or a mistake.
Clip the fuck out of that now. Let me have that for the rest of my life. You consent to being analysed by someone who's not a real doctor?
In this context, yes. You can analyse whatever you want.
Okay, I'm telling you, I warn you at the beginning of this video that I have made videos in which Harry has effeminate attitudes, but this was over the top so many times. And again, we have seen Harry do that spontaneously, but it's like they exploited this, and Harry was okay with that. Look at, you can analyze whatever you want and his posture.
You can analyze whatever you want. Let's go. It's like a team.
Yeah, it's we're close to the end. It's just two more clips.
Team bonding thing where they would sweat it on with each other.
We'd sweat it on with each other.
Yeah. I've been in the changing room. I know what happens.
What happens?
So that's the exclusive. There we go.
And if
Yeah, it's they were talking that how do you process trauma, and they were talking about exercising, I think, and then he began to say, "Sweat it on with each other." Harry's words, not mine. And then the guy went through that again. Okay, what do you mean? Sweat it down with each other?
On with each other.
Yeah.
With sweat.
I've been in the changing room. I know what happens.
Okay, yes, that that was the moment he knew this interview was a big mistake, or maybe good for the ratings, because people are watching this. People are finding out. I didn't know who this guy was. I think that he's very charismatic, but this was not it. This was not it.
What happened?
So that's the exclusive.
Like,
There we go.
and if a day is hard, one thing I will do is always squeeze my kids that extra tight.
Okay, I would say that maybe this is one of the few moments in which we were looking at the actual Harry. I want to believe that the guy actually loves his kids. I want to think that there's a silver lining in his life. I always want to think positive. I want to think that the way that he's blocking his body this way, the way that he is completely terrified, is that he is this is not what he wants. He wants to completely hide from everything. I mean, not to the point that he is terrified of cameras or anything, but I think he doesn't want this life. And I have said that many times already, and it shows. It shows. He wants the family life, but Meghan did not want the family life. Big mistake, Harry. You could have married anyone else that would have given you the family life. Maybe, yes, maybe not be a working royal anymore and just retire, quote unquote, find an actual job, which would have been a bit hard for you with your limitations, but would have been a better life for you and your children. But we are in this universe, we are in this situation, and Harry, well, you chose poorly, I must say. I just want to just wish that your kids are well. I don't know how to say this, but I really hope that they grow up healthy and well, in spite of the parents they have. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.